just another minute or two.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, Gary.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just suffering some technical difficulty, but other than that,
Saw you for a brief moment flash across the screen.
I like to come in with a different background, something a little more festive.
Oh, nice. Well, make that entrance. Go ahead.
All right, here I come.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, that's way better.
Nice. Yes. I love that background.
Thank you. It's kind of, I guess, cathartic. Feels good. I'm a water sign, so, you know.
It works well. Great. Perfect. So good morning, everyone. We're going to get started over here. Welcome to the Isla Vista Community Network monthly meeting. So I want to just start by doing our land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Chumash people and pay our respects to elders, both past and present. We honor the traditional territory as well as the story and contributions of the Chumash people to the land upon which we gather and create. Thank you everybody for joining us today and welcome to the start of fall. We are going to go into introductions and announcements as usual. If you are new to this meeting, welcome. Please know that during this time, we welcome just a brief introduction from you and any announcements from your organization or anything else that you want to share. I will start. My name is Diana Collins Fuente. I serve as the Director of Community Affairs, Student Development and Leadership for Associated Students at UCSB. I'm also the co-chair of the Ivy Community Network and want to encourage that if anybody would like to be a co-chair with me of the network, we would certainly welcome that. I also want to thank Jay because this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. Thank you, Jay, for making that happen. And thank you, Jonathan, for providing the link for all of us to be connected for these ongoing meetings. And I also want to just acknowledge all of the work that everybody's doing, both in Isla Vista, at UCSB and our other campuses. It has been a tremendous effort and look forward to getting into all of our conversations about fall. We do have a pretty tight schedule today, and so we will just keep moving through it, but definitely hoping that Halloween is going to be a focus of the discussion later on this afternoon. So saying all that, I would begin inviting Gary to do your introduction and announcement.
Well, thank you, Diana. Gary Gaston, UCSB Police Department, Community Outreach Team. I'll do a quick announcement and Tori's going to do a follow-up during our time frame later on regarding our Halloween status. We currently are up to 29 CSOs plus 25 applicants that we're currently processing. We are still hiring, hope to hire a total of 50 at this point. So we're still looking for maybe another 20 applicants or so. If you know of anyone that's interested in community service, this is a non-law enforcement position. Please let us know. And that should do it for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gary. Next, I'll go on to Jay.
My name is Jay Freeman. I'm on the boards of the Isla Vista Community Services District and the Local Agency Formation Commission. I'm representing neither of them here today. However, I'm here in my personal capacity.
I always love that intro, Jay. I gotta copy it from you. Thank you, Jay. On next, Tori.
everybody, my name is Tori Saunders. I'm a police officer with the UCSB Police Department. Today I am working patrol, but normally I am assigned to community outreach with my partner Gary. We do a lot of outreach meetings like this and talking to our community. So we're really proud of what we do. We love what we do. If anybody has any questions for us or wants to collaborate, please let us know. We'll put our email in the comments, and then later on I'll give a brief Halloween update as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tori. And next, Felisa, and after that, Lisa Oglesby.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Felisa. I'm the new community education coordinator with STESA. Yeah, I'm just glad to be here and get to know everyone.
Welcome, Felisa. We're so happy to have you. Thank you. Next, we'll go to Lisa Oglesby and then Viviana Marzano.
Hi, everyone. Lisa Oglesby, Isla Vista Food Co-op. Nice to see everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Viviana and then Sydney. I'm wondering if Viviana might be having some technical problems. I'm seeing a funny thing on her screen. So since I'm not hearing from you, Viviana, we will come back to you and go on to Sydney and then Raul.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Sydney Kessler, Community Engagement Director for Isla Vista Community Services District.
Great. Thank you, Sydney, and welcome. And now Raul, and then after that, John Maxwell.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see everyone. I'm the program director here at St. George Youth Center, and we're looking for volunteers throughout the week for homework assistance, and we're planning to have a Halloween pumpkin carving collaboration on the 30th of October.
Wonderful. Thank you, Raul, and welcome also. We got a lot of new folks. This is awesome. Then moving on, we'll go to John Maxwell, and after that, to Sari. John,
thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm John Maxwell. I'm the lieutenant in charge of the Foot Patrol. Justin couldn't make it today, so I'm going to be filling in for him, helping talk about any Halloween issues and everything. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much. And next, we will have Sari and then Megan.
Hi, I'm a student in the civic engagement class at UCSB, and I'm just sitting in today. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say.
Thank you, Sari. We're happy to have you. We'll go to Megan and then Mark.
Hi there, I'm Megan Turley. I am a development coordinator at UCSB's KITP, Kavli Institute for Theoretical Physics, but I'm here in my professional capacity as the vice chair of our redistricting commission for the county. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, Megan. Really look forward to your item in the agenda a little bit later. Now Mark and then Anna, please.
Hi, everyone. Mark Flixovich, he, him, his pronouns. I'm a passionate Isla Vista community member.
Thank you, Mark. Anna and then Viviana.
Hi, I'm Anna Jensen, Director of Isla Vista Arts for UCSB, and looking forward to hearing all the news today.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us, Anna. Next, we'll do Viviana and then Katie.
Yes. Hi, Viviana Marzano, Director of Civic and Community Engagement, Isla Vista Liaison and Senior Advisor to Campus Orgs with zeal and Dean of Students.
Thank you, Viviana. Katie and then Rodney.
Hi, my name is Katie Ho, and I'm a student here at UCSB. I'm looking forward to learn everything about, Isla Vista and how to improve it.
Thank you so much for joining us, Katie. I have Rodney and then Jonathan.
Hello, I'm Rodney Gould. I'm the Isla Vista Community Advisor for the Associated Students, and I also oversee the operations at the Pardall Center.
Thank you, Rodney. Jonathan and then Luis.
Hey, everybody. It's Jonathan. I'm the General Manager for Isla Vista Community Services District, and looking forward to today's session.
Thank you, Jonathan. Luis and then Aaron.
Hi, Luis Valerio, Recreation Coordinator for the Isla Vista Rec and Park District.
Great to see you, Luis. Thank you. Aaron and then Lisa Osborne.
Good afternoon, everyone. Aaron Jones, he, him, his pronouns. I'm the Director of the Educational Opportunity Program. Great to see our beautiful faces. And I'm going to apologize now. I'm going to have to cut out a little early, but great to see you.
Great to see you, Aaron. Next, Lisa and then Demi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Osborne, News and Public Affairs Director at KCSB FM, part of Associated Students. Good to see you all.
Great to see you, Lisa. Thank you. Demi and then Kim.
Hi everyone, my name's Demi. I'm the project coordinator for the Isla Vista Coalition for Healthy Communities 805, and I am happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Demi. And Kim, you're next, and then we'll have Amberine.
Hi everyone, it's great to see you. I'm Kim Ekwanoa, use she, her pronouns, and I'm Associate Dean for Student Life in the Dean of Students Office at UCSB.
Thank you, Kim. Great to see you. And then Amberine.
Hi everyone, I'm Anne Breen. I'm the Director of Member Services at the Santa Barbara Student Housing Cooperative. We have 5 houses in IV. It's good to be here. Thanks.
Thank you all so much. Did I miss anybody? We're on here. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So definitely a lot of new folks representing a lot of different organizations in IV and also on campus. Really excited to have all of you join us. Just so that you know, the Ivy Community Network, we meet once a month and we really discuss all things Isla Vista. And it's a great opportunity to gather with both folks from the community, UCSB, SPCC, the county, and a great opportunity for sharing information. So you're always welcome to share during the announcements. But also if you would like to be on the agenda at any point, if you have something that you would like to spend some more time discussing, please just send us a little shout out. And I will repeat what I said at the beginning. Usually the Ivy Community Network, it has 2 co-chairs that help to move it along. And so we're currently looking for an additional co-chair. So if you are interested in being a co-chair with me, please reach out and let me know. And we've got Spencer. Spencer, if you would like to introduce yourself and any brief announcement.
Hi, everyone. I'm Spencer Brandt. Great to see you all. I'm the president of the Isla Vista Community Services District, pronouns he, him, and glad to be here with you all.
Thank you so much, Spencer. Wonderful. So then we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Megan Shirley from Santa Barbara County Citizens Independent Redistricting Commission. And Megan, I will turn it to you to let us know what you have been tasked with in the conversation on drawing new county election district borders. And just so that you all know, on the agenda, there is a link with some more additional information as well. So Megan, with that, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks very much, Diana, and thank you, Sydney, for getting me involved and invited to this meeting. I'm so excited to share with you today. If you could go ahead and enable my screen share, that would be fantastic because I have some materials to share with you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Jonathan, are you on here right now?
He is.
Where?
Hey, sorry, I had stepped away for a second. What do you need?
Would you mind allowing Megan to screen share, please?
Yes, sorry about that.
Thank you. Okay.
There we go.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So I am the vice chair and also one of the District 2 representatives for the Santa Barbara County Redistricting Commission. We are a commission made up of 11 citizens from all over the county, tasked with the process of helping to help our communities to draw new lines for our district. So what is redistricting? Every 10 years, you may know that the federal census happens and we try to count every single person where they are in our communities. And this happens on a federal level, a state level, and smaller at a county and city level. And that population data, excuse me, I have a little cold. That population data is used to redraw election district lines in every 10 years. So 2021 is the year that we're doing it this year. And those lines determine where community members are placed in each district, what supervisors are representative of those community members, and generally, how decisions are made in the county as a whole with all of the supervisors who were elected. So it's a very, very important process, but it's a little bit convoluted, and not everybody is kind of aware that this is happening right now, but it's very important. So just basically why you should get involved. Sharing your unique point of view helps to ensure that our communities are fairly represented. The goal of this process is to readjust the lines so that each person is represented with one vote. And if lines are gerrymandered or if they separate communities of interest, from one another, that those votes are watered down and they don't get to have their say on a county level. So it's very, very important. This is possibly the most important way that you can contribute apart from voting to our local democratic process. And we have a couple of rules for drawing the lines, and this will become clear as to why I'm presenting this a little later in the presentation. But we are restrained by or constrained by a couple of different types of laws. So we have the Federal Voting Rights Act, which is very similar to our Measure G Act locally. It has statutes for things like communities needing to be contiguous in one district. So if they're separated by water at all, there needs to be a bridge or a highway that goes across it. They need to be touching at all points of the district. The most important one is an equal population. So every district, regardless of the size of it, needs to be the same population. And in Santa Barbara County, that magic number is around 89,300 people. So one of the most important and difficult things that we're going to be dealing with in this process is that Santa Maria is around 109,000 people right now. Santa Barbara City is about 88,000, I believe. And so, the question is, are we going to draw a line through Santa Barbara City? We know for sure we have to put Santa Maria citizens and people who live in Santa Maria into two districts. And how do we do that responsibly? Making sure that everybody is still properly represented. And then, of course, the US Constitution makes sure that we have no racial gerrymandering. So we cannot use race or ethnicity as a primary reason for putting certain people in certain districts. We can certainly consider it as part of an overall picture of what a district looks like. Specifically, is a certain language spoken in the home. Maybe a certain community has similar needs and votes together, that's okay, but it can't just be based entirely on race. And then on a state and local level, we have the California Voting Rights Act, which basically echoes a lot of what's in the Federal Voting Rights Act. And then these Measure G requirements, which is the local law that created this commission and created the rules for kind of what is governing the process of redistricting. And that's that geographical contiguity, that everything needs to be touching in one district. It can't be sort of like, one point is the only thing that's connecting two areas. We don't want to be dividing these neighborhoods or communities of interest, that we're keeping cities and census designated places together at as much as we can. That the boundaries are easily identifiable and are keeping in mind things like geography and topography. So are we drawing lines along mountain ranges, along the 101, along rivers, creeks, and streams, things that make sense for things that border communities, and then reasonably compact. So you're not hopefully seeing something like a salamander shaped district that's going all the way up and around, which is one of the biggest complaints about District 3 right now, which includes Guadalupe, Vandenberg, as well as Isla Vista. And then just keeping in mind that, possibly there's going to be more population growth in certain areas as opposed to others. We saw that Santa Maria had significantly more population growth than Santa Barbara City did this last cycle of counting. And so, is it reasonable to assume that we're going to have more people moving to Santa Maria? Are there going to be people moving out of the county? How is that going to look for the next 10 years? And then lastly, just being very thoughtful about the fact that if we're shifting voters from one district to another, they may have voted last in 2014 and they might be on a 4-year election cycle. And if we shift them to another district, they may have to wait another 2 years to vote. Is that equitable? Usually not. So we have to be very, very thoughtful about that as well. It's happened to Guadalupe quite a bit. So yeah, these are generally the rules for drawing the lines. And this is just, we don't have to stay on this slide for very long. It's a lot of information, but this gives you an idea of kind of where we are as a county right now. This is a little bit of older data. It's an estimated total population. We recently got the census data, and so all of our online tools have this updated census information, but you can just kind of take a look, and these are the districts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as you can see, we have some deviations in terms of equal population. So District 1 is currently at 84,000. District 5 is closer to that ideal at 89,000. And we want to be shooting for a total percent deviation, which is what you see over in this right-hand side here, of 10% or less. That's a federal standard, and it keeps us safe from litigation of the maps. So one of our big goals, in addition to making sure that these maps are equitable, is to keep that population deviation under 10%. So I just wanted to get a little bit more into this concept of communities of interest, because this is a really big one for why we're reaching out so heavily to communities, because data doesn't tell us everything. And the census is not perfect. And as we all know from last year, we probably don't have a perfect picture from the census, but that's the data that we have to go off of. So we're really looking for input from the community about who their communities of interest are, where they're located, so we can be very thoughtful about making sure that when maps are drawn, that we're not necessarily dividing important communities of interest. And communities of interest are defined as, and this is kind of a vague term, but a population that shares a common social, economic interest that should be included within a single district for the purposes of its effective and fair representation. So we don't want to be dividing these communities. So earlier on in the process, we had a lot of outreach meetings where we were asking people specifically to define your community. Do you live near a school? Do you live near a park? Is there a particular, area of interest that the county touches? Things like fire safety or wastewater or how trash gets taken away. Do you have, animals that are regularly, that the county animal services comes and takes off your property? Do you live in a rural area? Do you live in an urban area? What is it like for you on a daily basis or a monthly basis? What do you touch in the community? So we've heard a lot from people in Guadalupe, people from Santa Maria. We heard last meeting from somebody in Cuyama who was saying, hey, my district office is 2 hours by car from where I live. And I don't shop in Montecito. I don't go to grocery stores in Montecito. We have a mountain range dividing us, and I would much prefer to be in Santa Maria because that's where I shop. That's where I get my groceries. And those are the people who have a similar way of life to me. So that sort of story of, how are the districts not serving you right now? And how are the districts serving you right now, where their current lines are really, really helpful in being able to kind of understand what needs to stay the same and what needs to change. So we're looking for input to understand a larger picture of our community. And now we're kind of getting into this process. So you may know this or you may not know this, but the census data was supposed to come out in May. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for a variety of reasons. And so we actually just got the census data a couple of weeks ago. And unfortunately, our timeline has not changed. So we still have to approve a final map by December 15th. And so we are encouraging everyone to go onto our website right now at drawsantabarbaracounty.org. Go to our map drawing tools. There are a variety for very different levels of skill sets and comfort levels, and start drawing a map. And you can draw a map of just your district. You can draw a map of just your community of interest, or you can take a stab at drawing all 5 districts. And keeping in mind those principles before, those are also on our website, of the equal population, the contiguity, and keeping communities of interest together. We're hoping that we're going to get a real variety of maps to take a look at. And that deadline, again, is October 18th. And then once we have the maps, our next meeting, November 3rd, we will narrow down and start talking about the maps that have the most community support. And those will be drawn professionally by a demographer. We'll have them analyze it for all of those governing principles like the Voting Rights Act, the Constitution, Measure G, and take a look at all of the options together and also hear from the community. So the other option, if you don't want to draw a map, is go on and look at the current maps that are there and come to our next meeting with some comments about, what you think is working well in those maps, what you don't think is working well in those maps, because this is a really collaborative process and we are kind of just there to facilitate it. We ultimately will be approving the lines, but this is hopefully going to be a very, very community-based decision. So we have a couple different mapping tools. I love District R. It's very, very easy to use. It's kind of like if you took Google Maps and Paint and put them together. You have 5 different paint brushes and you can just draw over, and as you draw, the population totals go up and up. There's also Caliper, which is a much more powerful tool that uses GIS data. So if you're very comfortable with that, I highly recommend checking that out. And then we have just a simple paper map that you can print out and color in. So if you like paint by numbers, that is the option for you. But the most important thing is to really be getting involved in this process. If you have questions, please come and ask me. I'm very available. I'm happy to come and sit down with you in person with a mask on outdoors and walk you through this software. We really, really want to hear from a variety of different people. And specifically, District 3 has been so contentious, and we want to make sure that people who live in District 3, who work in District 3, who understand the specific needs of this area, which is a very, very diverse swath of land, are at the table. So here's an example. These are some of the draft maps that are up right now, so you can kind of see how people are dividing the county. And so if you have immediate opinions about these maps, we want to hear from you. You can also, if you don't feel comfortable public speaking, submit your comments online on our website or to our email address. So there's a lot of options about how to get involved and how much you want to get involved in the process. And then these are upcoming meetings. We have one on November 3rd in Santa Maria, but also online on Zoom, and then one on November 12th. We also have one a day from now on or maybe it's today actually, yeah, it's tonight at 5:30 p.m., but that's specifically to appoint a commissioner space that was recently empty because of an unfortunate and untimely death of one of our commissioners. So if you'd like to see kind of the behind the scenes of how everything happens, feel free to tune in tonight. But the conversations around maps are going to be happening at these two meetings and then going forward from there. So again, our online website is drawsantabarbara.org, or you can email us directly at redistricting@countyofsb.org. I think I have some comments in the chat. Okay, just looks like people giving updates, but I would love to take questions if people have them.
Thank you so much for that presentation. That is very helpful. And I know that you have a lot of information in terms of what redistricting means and the boundaries, and I appreciate the way that you describe that.
Sure.
It is definitely complicated. So we'd love to open up for questions. I do see a comment from Viviana on the chat that says the city of Goleta and the water district are also giving workshops about redistricting.
Yes.
I don't know if you wanted to speak to that to start off with.
Yeah, so this is specifically county. So City of Goleta is doing an excellent job with their redistricting outreach as well. So you may have seen some signboards out at Calle Real talking about Goleta redistricting. That's separate. They are completely separate from us, but you should absolutely get involved in both. And yeah, all of these things are happening at the same time. So it's easy to kind of miss because they're all very different processes, but also having the same really important local impact.
Thank you so much, Megan.
Sure.
Viviana, did you want to do any follow-up just to your point?
No, I just, like they have been giving workshops where they do some on Zoom and some in person, and they even give people a map if they don't want to use the tools, and people can even right there and then draw the district lines. So it's very hands-on.
Yes, yeah, so that's fantastic. We had those outreach sessions in the summer. So unfortunately, we, for a variety of reasons, including a difficulty with marketing, did not get a lot of people at those events. And just due to the fact that coronavirus has spiked and the county has very specific measures about it, we have really been limited in terms of how much in-person workshopping we have done. But I personally am very available. I live in Santa Barbara and work at UCSB. So if you would like to organize a workshop or host a workshop, all I need is a space, and I'm happy to come in with my laptop. If there's a printer, we can print out county maps, and I'm happy to be there to help people draw maps. This is super, super important, and our failings on getting the word out should not prevent people in our county from being able to participate in this.
Thank you very much for that, Megan. That's really great to know, and I think there's going to be a lot of interest in that opportunity.
Sure, and it looks like we've got a couple of hands raised.
Yes, I will go to Mark next.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I have a question and a comment.
Sure.
On your slide, it was really clear, give some feedback, draw a map, whatever. Like you had 3 options. And then as soon as I went to the website, there was no, for me, obvious place to just give feedback, because personally, I don't have a ton of interest in drawing a map, but I really want to advocate for keeping the Isla Vista community together as one whole entity, and even including really kind of some of the outside areas of Isla Vista that include maybe where grad students lives, where faculty live. Really, you could even consider it a community of renters in a lot of ways. And so that's something I guess I just want to advocate for, because I really feel like we are one connected community, whether you live in the formal boundaries of Isla Vista or not, in many ways connected via UCSB, or just connected socially with the people who live here. And so I guess that's kind of my comment to you. And then I also see that you posted in the chat what I'm looking for. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome. Yeah. So you can email us at redistricting at countyofsb.org. But you can also just go to our contact page and submit it. Or if you would like to give public comment at a meeting, you can also attend via Zoom or in person and do that as well. So hopefully there are options available, but thank you for your feedback. I appreciate knowing that it's a little bit hard to navigate the site.
Thanks, Megan.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Jay, I see that you have your hand up.
Now, one thing I wanted to, which I might have misunderstood. So one thing I wanted to kind of bring up then as a question to verify that I'm even correct is that the redistricting commission does not itself and will not itself draw a map, that you are actually going to choose between the maps that we draw. You're nodding your head.
That's a great clarifying question.
I found that such an interesting thought process, because it really makes the process of us drawing maps really important, and the process of the feedback on those maps important, as opposed to hoping that you will come up with the best map because of your process and all of the great people you have on your commission. If all of the great people you have on your commission, if we do not draw a good map, that we will not get a good map.
Yes, so you're both correct, and I would like to clarify a little bit. Yes, that the base maps are going to be the maps that are submitted by the public. We do not want to be the people submitting maps. I know that there has been an instance in another county of someone on the commission anonymously submitting a map, and that being the final one. We do not want that to happen. That would not be good. We really want this to be community-based. However, we are able to, shift lines in an existing map with our demographers based on feedback. So these are not at all the final maps, and they don't have to be, but if there's a perfect one, we're not going to say no to it. And we're certainly not going to be out there drawing our own maps without, we're just not going to, is the baseline there.
Yeah, I had just found that to be a surprising thought process, because I kind of assumed that when this commission got put together, that they're going to be in charge of coming up with the map. And worst case scenario, if no one from the general population provides any feedback or provides any maps, you'll just draw us a map. But it turns out that's not quite the case. So
no, yes, that's correct. I think Kirsten also had a question.
Kirsten, did you want to go next?
Hi, this is Kirsten Deschler. I had a comment and a question. Your presentation was just really great. I love all the tools that people have to be able to create the maps. It's just such an amazing participatory democracy, this process. And as a political person, I love it. But one thing I just wanted to clarify, because I came a few minutes late, is I want to make sure that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's separate redistricting processes going on. So there's the county redistricting process, which is the county supervisorial districts. There's the city of Goleta, which is drawing their own lines for their 5 districts. And then there's also the Goleta Water District, which has their separate process. And they're all separate, right? So I just want to make sure if that's my understanding, if that's correct, and maybe just to make it clear for people, because it is a bit confusing.
Yes, Kirsten, thank you so much for that clarification. Viviana also mentioned it earlier that yes, these are completely separate. I would have loved to work together, but as many of you know, it's these kind of things have to be separate, and they're very siloed. And I am very, very jealous of the city of Goleta for how incredibly they have gotten the word out there about their redistricting efforts, and I have been trying to copy them a little bit. But yeah, these are 3 separate efforts, and I think Spencer Brandt has been at almost all of our meetings and is super, super informed about this. So I just wanted to shout out Spencer. Thank you for all that you have done to kind of keep us on our toes and give us feedback. And I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you for all of the work that you all and the entire commission is putting into this. I just want to say a quick thing about the commission, which is that of all of the members, I'd say just about all of you are new to serving in local government, and you've done an incredible job and had to navigate some really tough decisions. So really appreciate you giving this workshop.
Yeah, thanks for saying so. And the other thing that you can do that I didn't include on there, but because you guys are all community leaders and you're very involved specifically in places in District 3, if you would like to share this with your networks, I am happy to provide you with outreach materials to do so. And that makes a big difference for us because, missing the deadline for submitting the map is not the end of the world. We have 2 more months left of really intense deliberation, and having more voices in the room is not a bad thing. It's in fact exactly what we're looking for. So in terms of getting butts in seats and people on Zoom, I really need your help. And I would really appreciate anything that you could do to spread the word about this, because it's super, super important.
Thank you for that, Megan. And definitely,
Sure.
I just sent you my email. If you wouldn't mind sending me whatever those documents are, I'm happy to share that with the network.
Absolutely. And I saw a few other people message me directly, and I will definitely get back to you guys about that.
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
Let's see. I have Catherine next. Jay, your hand is still up. I'm not sure if you have a follow. Okay, perfect. Catherine.
Hi, I was wondering if now would be the time to just share a brief comment that I had about redistricting, or if this isn't the time.
You certainly can, but I'm not technically allowed to convey other people's comments to the commission. So the best way to do that would be either to submit it online via our contact tool on our website or to come to an upcoming meeting.
Okay, perfect. I'll just share it on the contact form that you sent.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Megan, I did have a couple of other questions for you. You noted that there were 2 meetings that are coming up. Will those 2 meetings be in person only, or will those be also hybrid or Zoom meetings as well?
Everything has been hybrid so far. So yeah, those will be available on Zoom. You can go onto our agendas and calendar page. And I believe the Zoom link is usually shared out if you subscribe to our updates 7 days in advance, and then it'll be uploaded to the website 72 hours in advance. So yeah, you can just easily click on the link and join via Zoom.
And I know that for a lot of folks, as we've said, this is a lot of content and a lot of information about the way that the districts work. And I'm wondering, you made a mention of it earlier, but if you wouldn't mind maybe just taking another moment to go back and talking about, as an example, the 3rd district and where those boundaries lay and why that might be a good kind of study about what makes it simple and complicated in terms of defining how districts should be drawn. That's okay?
Yeah, certainly. So if I'm understanding your question, you're asking specifically for me to give the example of the 3rd district as kind of a reason for why it's important to redistrict. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I can't have a personal opinion about this. I'm on the commission, so I'm an independent kind of person who is facilitating these conversations. But from my understanding and from feedback that we've received from the community of Guadalupe and Vandenberg, well, not necessarily Vandenberg Air Force Base, but specifically Guadalupe is it's rural, it's agrarian. There's a lot of people who speak Spanish only in the home. And so to be grouped in with UCSB, which is mostly students, has been a real sore spot because people are frustrated with feeling like Guadalupe has kind of been left out of a lot of conversations, and that a lot of the feedback has been about how Santa Maria and Orcutt are places that have much more in common with Guadalupe than Guadalupe has with Isla Vista. And so how do we balance the population problem of we have a certain number of places in the county that are contiguous, right? So Guadalupe is up the coast from Vandenberg and up the coast from IV, so you can connect it in a line, but also keeping in mind that, if you put a large population of one type of, community of interest in with a smaller population of another community of interest, it's possible that one of those will not feel represented. So, and I mean, I really like the example of Kiama because like having to drive 2 hours to your district office around a mountain is just, I think, I mean, a lot of people have said is unreasonable. So how do we keep that in mind when we're shifting these districts?
Thank you. That's very helpful. And certainly not trying to have you have an opinion on
sure.
the other, but just use that as an example so folks understand what that conversation is in a more specific way.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, this is all kind of a really high level conversation, right? But drilling down into how does the county touch you? How does the county touch your life? Do you live in a high fire zone area? Do you have kids who go to school? You know, we have all dealt with the pandemic for the last 18 months. County public health has been a real, you know, source of information and hopefully providing, you know, safe recommendations for us all. How does it affect your life, and how would you, you know, want to change that or keep it the same? And Spencer, I think you had a comment.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. I was just gonna add because I've enjoyed following this process a lot, and I've spoken with Megan and other commissioners about this in their public comment and in one of the workshops. But I'm very concerned because there have been some maps that members of the public that have submitted that split Isla Vista and UCSB's campus into 2 different districts, and I think that that would be really disastrous for the representation of our community, but also not really in keeping with what the mission that the commission has, which is to try and keep communities together. So I definitely encourage everyone to get involved. This is a really crucial process. And I wanted to add one other thing too, because when we were talking about the 3rd district, it reminded me of something that I heard Jay say one time, which is that the 3rd district actually has a really important logic to it, which is that it's all of the small unincorporated communities and small cities. And we know a lot about that in Isla Vista, how difficult it can be to get services provided in unincorporated areas which don't have city governments, or small cities, a lot of similar concerns in common about trying to make a lot happen with a little. And so I just wanted to add that in there because I heard Jay say that at another meeting, and it was interesting because I had never quite thought about it that way. And I think there was another aspect to what you'd mentioned too, Jay, not to put you on the spot, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Something about large institutions.
Yeah, it was the idea that the 3rd district contains the Chumash Reservation, the Air Force Base, and the university, which are all these external entities that don't really answer to the county government. And so this idea that the 3rd district supervisor is essentially not only in this position of being the de facto mayor for all these small communities, but is also the negotiator with all of these external entities. And that skill set, I think, is interesting to think about from the perspective of what each of the people who are on the Board of Supervisors, what do they bring to the table? And if you need to make all 5 supervisors good at all 5 different type of aspects of government, of like this, how to deal with the government in the area, I'm not certain how that could even work. And so by putting cities in things like the 1st district and the 5th district, and leaving these community service districts and these external entities to the 3rd district, I think it makes it easier to find good people to serve.
Add Los Padres National Forest into the 3rd district as well as another federal entity that has a huge footprint.
Excellent points.
That's so interesting, and I haven't heard that at all, that specific idea. So Jay, if you feel comfortable submitting that via public comment, I would highly recommend it, because it's an important point of view that I don't think has been shared yet in our meetings.
I will do a write-up of it. I went to one of the
Thank you so
meetings
much.
and I gave a present, and I talked about it, but I will do a write-up on it.
Okay, great. And then also,
I was going to say Guadalupe and Isla Vista have a lot in common. They're deeply underserved. They're the poorest census tract blocks in our county. They have serious transportation challenges and transportation funding challenges. And they have significant, as already stated in Guadalupe, Spanish-speaking populations. So there's actually quite a bit of overlap between the 2 communities.
Yeah, thanks, Gina. Feel free to submit that via comment on our website or at a meeting. Again, I'm not able, unfortunately, to pass this information along to the commission. So it's really important that I know that's a super frustrating process, but legally it's kind of what we have to do to keep a distance from it. But also specifically to speak to a point in the chat, Spencer, we are going to get the district R as well as the CalPERS tools updated with new census data in the next couple of weeks, but the paper maps are updated with the Excel with new census information. So if you're wanting to like check your work, you can certainly do it that way. But I know that it's been a frustrating process for all of us involved in terms of the census data getting updated.
Thank you very much, Megan, and everybody for this conversation. I think it just really shows how important a conversation it is to have and how complex it is. I'm wondering, kind of just going back to Lisa Oglesby's question and some of the subsequent discussion about there being an Ivy-specific workshop for this conversation. And I know, Megan, that you said that you were available. I'm just wondering if there are stakeholders in Isla Vista who already have, are interested or would want to think about having an Ivy-specific workshop coming up. And I would love to see either a show of hands or any comment from folks if you think that we should try to organize something like that here.
People can also reach out directly to me to organize smaller workshops if that's more comfortable. Happy to help, but I know that the deadline is kind of swiftly approaching, so I would be happy to make myself available in the next couple of days for that.
Megan, I'll shoot you an email because I think there's definitely a lot of appetite for that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you, Spencer, and thank you, Megan. I did see a few hands go up. And Anne-Marie, you have your hand up?
Yeah, just a clarification, this deadline is October 18th, so in 4 days.
Yeah, so the deadline for one part of it. So the deadline for submitting your own maps is on the 18th. Of course, if you submit a map after that and it's the best map, we're not going to not accept it, but we are going to get started on the process of our demographers actually inputting the lines and analyzing it for adherence to all of our different kind of rule sets for how we're measuring legality of the maps on after the 18th. And then we have until the 15th of December to approve them. So there's still so many opportunities to get involved with giving feedback about where the lines are for the maps that we'll be taking a look at. So definitely don't feel like if you don't get something in on the 18th, throws your hands up in the air and it's done.
As a follow-up, will you all be, once you narrow down some maps, putting those out for public comment?
Yes, so that is the point of the next kind of like, I think it's 5 meetings after this, is that we're asking for public comment on the maps.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, happy to.
Thank you very much. Are there any final questions for Megan? It looks like we are good. Okay. Oh, Leilani.
Just to clarify, today's meeting was just for like general information and not public comment.
Yes, that's right. So if you have public comment, come to our meeting on Zoom or in person or submit it via our website.
And when are the next meetings?
So we have a business meeting tonight to appoint a replacement commissioner for the at-large position that was sadly open because of Kate Adams' passing.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next public comment meeting specifically for maps is on November 3rd.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Leilani.
Thank you. Wonderful. Then if there are no additional questions at this time, we have the information from Megan, both in the agenda as well as in the chat, contact information and website information. Megan, thank you so much for your time and for being here, and hope that you'll continue to join us for our regular meetings.
Happy to. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. Perfect. And then we will move on to the 3rd District Supervisor's Office. Gina, I know you've got a fire update for us and perhaps some other things as well. So on to you.
Hi, everyone. Okay.
I think you asked if we can hear you. You're a little broken up.
Was I broken up? Why? Okay, so I'm driving through probably a little bit of a dead zone right now. I see Deanna, you're nodding, so you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just forge on. And if I drop out, then we can just go back. But Joan has, Supervisor Hartman today has the appointment, the whole board, they have a special session right now, so she hasn't been in this meeting, to appoint the next director of the Behavioral Wellness Department. So I will just give a brief LSL fire update, and I'll take questions if anybody has that. My assumption is that some people maybe are a little bit nervous because some reports have said, oh, the fire's outside of Goleta, and it's certainly burning on the Gaviota coast. Right now, it's about 16 miles away from the Isla Vista UCSB area. It has run into the Sherpa fire burn scar, so it slowed down tremendously. That's a big reduction in fuel because that area burned in 2017. The winds on the east end of the fire, which is the area closest to campus, are very much favorable, have improved in the last couple of days. We expect they continue to improve until the weather decides that changes. And so we expect to get some pretty good containment lines around the fire. And so everyone, this is like the time, stay alert, stay in touch with, follow on Twitter or Instagram, County of Santa Barbara, who's giving regular updates. Everyone should sign up at readysbc.org. That's readysbc for Santa Barbara County.org to get those alerts, to get in the Nixle or the Everbridge system to get the evacuation type alerts and stuff. So this is just a good reminder for that. It's also a good reminder, remember to try to keep yourself just general fire preparedness.
So you're cutting out a little bit, Gina, but I heard you say general fire preparedness. Make sure your cell phones are charged. There's on the readysbc.org some information about preparing for the wildfire. I think that's the last thing you were saying.
Yeah, so that just general, get prepared. This is just a good time in a non-emergency situation. It's not an emergency right now for you guys, to make sure that you're doing those things, backing up important documents. It's burned, and then last thing on the fire, it's burned about 15,000 acres. We don't know what started it, but we know that the winds made it really fast moving. So does anybody have any questions about the Alisal fire?
Any questions for Gina about the fire?
Or anything else county related?
I don't see any hands up right now, Gina. So thank you so much for that update. And while you're driving.
One last thing, sorry, I forgot. You can go to the air pollution control district website. I think it's I can't remember the website off the top of my head, and I can send out later, but to check all your air quality because it changes with the winds. So that's one thing. That's why I'm in the car. Actually, I have a toddler and the air is just not good for toddlers who can't wear masks. So I need to take him to cleaner air. So that's my report.
Thank you very much. And Lisa Oglesby posted ourair.org as the link. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you do that? Yeah, to everybody. Okay. Thank you so much. Any more questions then for the 3rd district? Okay. Gina, thank you so much again. Please stay safe. And then we will move on to associated students in Isla Vista. And Shannon, if you want to take that away.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Shannon Sweeney. My pronouns are she, hers, and I currently serve as the External Vice President for Local Affairs. Sorry for being late today. I came straight from class. I'll get started on what some of the other AS entities are working on right now. IVCRC, which is the Isla Vista Community Relations Committee, has been working on Taste of Pardal. And so on October 9th, they gave out 300 vouchers to students and community members to try foods from Thankful Kitchen, which used to be Buddha Bowls, Sam's To Go, Woodstock's Pizza for free. And so the idea was they wanted to introduce new foods to new residents, and then also get them to interact with local business owners. They don't really know what they're doing for the rest of the quarter, but they are taking funding requests. And then IVTU, Isla Vista Tenants Union, is working on restarting their working groups. They're also getting a new caseworker. They're working on a booklet about being a tenant, and then also working on kind of discussing the habitability ordinance, basically saying what information landlords have to provide to their tenants about habitability. And then what the EVPLA office is working on right now, with Halloween coming up, we're working on putting out a newsletter with all of the information surrounding Halloween that's kind of relevant to students and community members. Student Affairs also puts out something like this to students, but our newsletters not only focusing on what events are going on, what rules and regulations are in place, but also resources, and then what the common citations are and what you should do if you do get a citation in Isla Vista. Also, we are putting up porta potties in Little Acorn Park and one at the Pardal Center with hand washing stations. We are also doing Haunt the Loop on Halloween, so that'll be from, I can take your question now if you want.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry to be late to the meeting. I'm Jackie Curta. I represent student health and the alcohol and drug program. So Shannon, we haven't met yet, but our program and Life of the Party and Gauchos for Recovery interact with your office quite a lot over the years. So I certainly look forward to meeting and collaborating as much as possible. Just to circle back, and forgive me if I didn't hear what you meant when you said how to inform students about what to do if they get a citation. Can you explain what you might mean about that? Because oftentimes our office gets involved in referrals for those kinds of things. So just wanted a heads up on what you might be sharing with students.
Yeah, I think we wanted to kind of more like focus on if you get a citation in Isla Vista, what the common citations are. So MIPs, open containers.
Okay.
And then talking about the restorative justice program as an option for students.
Okay, terrific. And if you don't mind, when you put that information out, I'll put my email in the chat. I'd love it if you would include us, at least in the creation of that, because our goal is to help students understand that we are there to support them. Yes, they may be referred to us, acknowledging that we are that we serve in that capacity too. But as a lot of people on the call know, we are also here to help support students and provide them with some consultation that might make some of these experiences more helpful to them. So I'll put my email in the chat. We'd love to be a part of the development of any info that you put out.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Great, thanks.
And then I guess I was talking about Haunt the Loop. Haunt the Loop is going to be on October 31st from 3 to 5 p.m. And it's a trick-or-treating event that the EVPLA office has done the past couple of years for families in Isla Vista who don't necessarily get the opportunity to go trick-or-treating because of just the unique community we have here. So how the event works is we ask local businesses to pass out candy. We do a raffle with the CSD, and it's just a really nice community event. We have student volunteers making sure children and their families get to each stop safely. It's just a very nice event. I think it's one of my favorite events we do, where we're seeing local businesses, families, students all interacting together and celebrating a holiday. The next thing we're working on is with IVRPD. We're doing an open market on November 5th, and those will follow kind of along the same lines, the same as we have done in the past, where we work with local vendors and student vendors to share their businesses and sell whatever they make, artwork, crafts, anything basically besides food or water, like jewelry, or not food or water, food or drinks, jewelry, a bunch of fun stuff in Little Acorn Park. So that's going to be happening on November 5th from 1 to 5 p.m. Aside from that, we will also be having a workshop on how to find a lease for the next year in the beginning of November. Does anyone have any questions?
It looks like we don't have any questions for you right now, Shannon.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you so much. Beautiful. And I do have a document that is kind of a summary of all of the Halloween events that we have so far. We're still finishing that up, but if anybody would like that, I'm happy to share that with you. Just let me know. Next, we will go on to IVRPD. Luis, would that be you taking that today?
Yes. Oh, hi, everyone. Yeah, we have a couple updates on some projects and some events. I'll start off with, we reached yesterday afternoon, we announced our Haunted Halloween pumpkin patch. It's going to be a 3-day event that will be taking place over at Estero Park and TP Village. It'll be October 27th, 28th, and 29th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. We are collaborating with Lucidity to bring in convert the park into an outdoor kind of haunted pumpkin patch maze with live actors and professional lighting and sound effects. It should be really fun. It's family friendly. Everyone's invited. It is a free event. Thank you to the IVCRC, who is one of our major sponsors for the event. We'll be offering free pumpkins, limited supplies. Each night, we'll have roughly around 300 pumpkins available each night for participants who complete the maze. So everyone's invited. There is no alcohol, no drugs on the premises. We do recommend adult supervision for anybody under the age of 10 because of the live actors and some of the special effects that will be occurring in the actual maze. And we are monitoring COVID or guidelines, so we'll update those policies as need be. But as of right now, October 27th to 29th, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., everybody's invited. Hope to see everyone out there. It should be a lot of fun. Continue on the recreational activities. We've been collaborating with UCSB Recreation to host up these pop-up recreation events. We held a free birding workshop 2 weeks ago. Last weekend, we held a free cornhole tournament at Little Acorn Park. This weekend, this Saturday, the 16th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., we'll be having a free rock climbing and slacklining workshop at Trigo Pasado Park. So anybody who would like to learn how to do some rock climbing, we have a boulder there that we just installed some brand new handholds. Thank you, Mason from UCB Rec, who helped us install those yesterday. So come on out. Also next weekend, the 23rd, at Estero Park, we're going to be hosting a free 3-on-3 basketball tournament from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So this is the final 2 weeks of kind of this pop-up recreation. We hope to continue to offer more of these pop-up recreation opportunities free of charge to the community over the next couple months. This is kind of just a little pilot run, but they've been so far very successful and well received. So we look forward to continuing that. Parral Gardens, we are going to be doing some major renovations that will be scheduled for late February, early March 2022. So Parral Gardens, which is located right near, kind of across the street from the old South Coast Deli, kind of veering into Parral Tunnel. We'll be doing some major renovations. We'll be hosting a local business stakeholder meeting on November 2nd, and then that will be followed up with a public community meeting on the week of November 15th. The basic design that's being proposed, and we'll share those and share that with the community, is installing a brand new shade structure and kind of creating the space into an extension of the dining area and the business corridor of Pardal. So we'll be adding some more additional picnic tables. We've been discussing adding some solar power so that people can rent the event if they want to do some kind of gathering, and there'll be power on site. Just kind of a passive recreational park with seating area for people to enjoy their meals if they're out for lunch or dinner, or if they just need to get off campus and want a little study break, don't want to go all the way home, have some access to power and also possibly some Wi-Fi as well. So we'll be doing a full renovation of that park, and I'll make sure stay updated. I would encourage everyone to sign up for our newsletter, which is you can sign up on our website, ivparks.org. You can also follow us on Instagram, and we also are updating the public on all of the fun stuff in our parks there. Also, just wanted to Acknowledge those of you who might have been walking through Anascoyo Park the last couple of weeks. You might have seen a lot of work being done. So we are doing a lot of park restoration, a lot of tree maintenance. We're installing brand new irrigation. We did some grading to kind of create better sight lines throughout the park. We installed new lighting, so those park lights are functional now at night. And also we'll be on Cool Corner, which is the northeast section of the park, kind of by where Snag is located at. That berm has been graded and is getting prepared for planting. So we'll be hosting a volunteer day, which again we'll be announcing on social media and through our newsletter. We'll be hosting a volunteer day to do some planting on that on that berm right there, facing Embarcadero del Norte. Everyone, if you're looking for volunteer opportunities, that'll be a great one to be a part of and do some planting, some tree planting, some flowers, some real nice stuff there. And then also just wanted to say thank you again to Goleta Library. They've been visiting a few of our parks. They've been today, they're at Perfect Park. Earlier this week, they're at Seed Lookout. So they are on a 2-week schedule where they'll be visiting. I know they're at the community center 3 days a week. And then we're hosting them at Estero Park from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. That'll be next week. And then the second week of that schedule, they're at Sea Lookout from 11:15 a.m. to 12:45 and Perfect Park at the same time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions, but that's.
So many good things happening out of the IVRPD, Luis. Thank you for all of your work. For someone who wants to follow up, get that list of all the events that you just noted, I know that you send out an email. But also, can folks check on your website?
Correct. Yeah, you can definitely check our website, ivparks.org, or sign up for the newsletter, which we were constantly sending out notifications through. Perfect. And I guess one last thing is we do have a board meeting tonight at 5:30 p.m. and that board meeting Zoom information is on our website.
Perfect. And I see that Ash also posted that on here for the board meeting, the agenda, and the Zoom at ivparks.org.
Thank you, Ash.
Thank you so much, Luis. And next, we are moving on to the Ivy Community Services District. Jonathan or Spencer, would you have an update?
Yeah, hi everyone. Great to see you all virtually. So we've got a lot going on. The first that I really want to highlight is that at our last board meeting, we approved a grant program for businesses for events in their facilities during the Halloween weekend. The goal is to make the events open to the public, that they promote a positive, safe, healthy environment, draw attendees away from concentration of private parties, and our family-friendly events. So there's a total amount of $10,000 allocated to this grant program, and we have worked with the Isla Vista Food Co-op to work on one event that we're thinking of right now. So more to come on that soon as it gets more fleshed out, but we are super excited about everything we can do to help support our business community to bring more life into the downtown area and away from some of these less healthy activities. So that grant application is now up, and I'll go ahead and put that in the chat if you are interested, and really encourage everyone to share. We're going to be promoting it a lot over the next week. A part of our Halloween outreach also is including a door hanger that has information about all of the great events that everyone has been mentioning that are going on over the next Halloween weekend, and information about ordinances and other restrictions as well. So look for those because they'll be at on everyone's doorknob in the coming weeks. Update on the community center. We're really excited to announce that we have signed an interim lease with the county and anticipate that additional renovations are going to be made to the community center and the community resource building very soon. So great news. We're very excited about it. And our board right now is discussing putting in place initial policies for the reservation, fees, and insurance requirements 4 different types of users for the community center space. We had a preliminary discussion on Tuesday at our board meeting about it and asked our staff to bring back a proposal that is based around a model that has different levels for residents of Isla Vista, including, students, nonprofits, collectives of individuals that are doing work in our community, and then also non-residents, so people that are from outside, with the goal of really trying to make sure that this community asset serves our community as best as it possibly can. And so if you have feedback or questions about that, I really encourage you to reach out. And I know I'll definitely be wanting to speak with some of you that I'm sure are going to be vital users of the space in the coming weeks before we approve that. Additionally, for that, now that we have the building, we are hiring a community center director. So please share in your networks. It's on our website, and I don't have the link right in front of me, but that process is going on right now. Another thing, switching gears to parking. So this has been one of the foundational reasons that the Community Services District was formed, and it's one of the foundational powers that we have. And for years, the community has asked us to approach the parking problem in Isla Vista from a lens of trying to gather information more than just about like what parking availability exists and doesn't exist. And so I want to give a big shout out to our board members, Jay Freeman, Kirsten Deschler, and Marcos Aguilar, who helped put together a request for proposals that we're going to go out for a consultant that is in the transportation planning field that is going to study this issue about what the current parking levels are in Isla Vista, but also is going to have this qualitative component where we're surveying individuals and asking them, about who they are, about how often they use their car, how many cars are in their total household, what are the common trips that they make, all with the goal of trying to get a better understanding of what different types of drivers there are in Isla Vista that park here during the day and at different types of different points in the day as well. So I'm just really excited about that because it's a huge step, and it's an incredible problem to try and tackle. But I think we're really well positioned to be able to do that with this study, and just really encourage any input that anyone has throughout this process. In addition, Luis mentioned the Goleta Valley Library book van. We're so excited that that is now in operation servicing Isla Vista. And I wanted to point everyone to the community calendar, which is recently launched on our website as well, because it does a really good job of showing when the book van is going to be in different places, because it does have a little bit of a sporadic schedule for right now. So you can check that out on the community calendar, and you are also encouraged to submit events to the community calendar. You can do that on that webpage as well. Super excited to have that resource up and running, and just to help be a clearinghouse for all the different things that are going on in IV. And the last thing I'll mention is another survey. So for the nightlife, arts, and cultural events, this is a committee on our board that has been working on trying to figure out what our community wants to see to improve nightlife, arts, and culture, and create positive outlets for people's energy and excitement. And so I am going to also add this link in the chat to the survey. There's more information on that webpage, and would encourage you to fill it out when you get the chance. So that is my report. Jonathan, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Spencer, are there any questions for the IVCSD? Thank you so much for that report out. Okay, and then next we will go to law enforcement in IV. Gary or Tori or John, I'll leave it up to you to see who would like to take it first.
All right, I'll jump in. Good afternoon, all. So we're looking at our planning for Halloween. So far, really the crowds out here have been pretty good. They've been not very large crowds. The folks that are out on DP on the weekend nights have been mostly locals and just enjoying themselves. When it comes to crowds, we look at crowd behavior, not necessarily crowd size. And so thus far, we haven't been getting a lot of the fights or serious public safety issues. So I was out late Friday night and there were a lot of people out and about, but no real major issues. So we do plan to upstaff this year, as we always do every year, but not significantly so. And as of right now, we do not think it's necessary to put up barricades. We're not going to be blocking off any of the streets leading down to DP. And we do not intend to restrict parking or tow cars on Del Playa. And we are not going to be bringing out our mounted unit for the event as of now. So right now, it seems like it's going to be a good weekend. Really appreciate Spencer and the CSD's efforts at leading up to the event with the door hangers and those events up in the business areas. And it's going to be really helpful. And I think Gary can mention it, but I believe UCSB is working on a concert or some kind of a show as well to help give folks some healthier and alternative activities. So we're happy to partner with UCPD for the efforts leading into Halloween. As we've done in past years, we split Isla Vista down Camino Pescadero. UCSB police handle everything between Camino Pesque and campus, and the sheriff's office handles everything on the other side. So I think it's going to go well. We're hoping for a local event and a peaceful one.
Thank you very much for that, John. And are there any questions right now for Sheriff's Office, Ivy Foot Patrol? Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then going on to Gary.
All right, so I have some updates for UCSB. We will have some mutual aid coming in from other UC campuses as well for a little bit of upstaffing. As of right now, we do not have word on a concert that doesn't come from our agency specifically. So other entities on campus are involved with that, but I do not have an official word on that concert. As far as road closures, traffic control is going to be in place on campus, letting people onto campus and off, depending if they have business to attend to on campus. But we don't want to have just random people walking through the campus. So there will be closures as it has been in the past. And for fencing, fencing will be similar to the fencing we've seen in the past years. No center medians on El Colegio this year, though. So just the standard fencing. I think they do it around like Santa Catalina and San Raf, but no center median fencings on El Colegio. And that is all I have on there.
Deanna, I had just
Yes.
a question. So yeah, there seems to be some uncertainty about the concert. I know with Tori and Gary and I were on a call the other day, and there seemed to be uncertainty about whether or not there'd be not whether or not, but where a concert might be held. But as part of there is a committee that meets called the Major Events Committee. Maybe some of you are part of that on the campus. And the minutes from that meeting came out and indicated that there will be a concert, and it will be at the event center, and it will have a limited access or a reduced number of student access. So I'm just wondering if anybody else on the call has any more certainty about that, because if UCPD doesn't know that that's certain, then that makes me question whether or not it's actually certain.
This is Kirsten. I can address that. I would say that it is not certain where the concert will be held, and it's not certain if it will be indoor or outdoor. I think that is still in discussion.
Yes, thank you. Just to clarify, that is an AS program board concert that happens every year annually during Halloween and during Deltopia as well. It's another concert. So just folks are not familiar with that yet, that is a regular thing. Shannon, did you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I just was gonna kind of add on that they are still trying to figure out the best way to go about the concert with COVID. And so they've been exploring different venues outside, including the rec center fields and the event center. They're just running into difficulties of turning into a field into a concert stage and an event center. So they're trying to figure out the best way to go about it, COVID safely, but also feasible. But I think last time I heard is that they're leaning towards having the event outside at one of the rec center fields.
Thank you very much for that update. This is the crowdsourcing of quickly moving events and information. So thank you all as always. Perfect. And so thank you, Tori, for the updates in terms of what UCPD is doing. I heard you say that there will be upstaffing a little bit, including some officers from other campuses, but still kind of to be determined. And then, of course, the update in terms of the fencing on the center medians and the traffic control on campus. Was there anything else, Tori, that you had?
Nothing more from my supervisors that we have. If anybody has any questions, I'll put our community email, and then you can email myself and Gary directly, and we can get an answer for you if we don't have the answer for it right off the top of our heads.
And I would just add to that, that traditionally, certainly through AS and through Public Safety Commission, we have really always encouraged there to be that communication just prior to a major event, the Beltopia Halloween, that there be a community briefing that happens either in the days before or on the day of the event. And we really want to encourage you all to consider doing that again this year so that we just do have the best information. I know very often a lot of the details aren't necessarily known in terms of the number of officers that will be around or some of the additional details. So I think it's very helpful to be able to have a scheduled meeting with the community for that.
Dan, I'll just add as well, I'll drop my email into the comments. So if anybody has any questions leading up to Halloween, feel free to contact me directly. I'll be happy to address those.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Shannon, did you have a comment?
Oh, no, I was just doing the little clap emoji to what you said.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. And I'm seeing folks are dropping their information on the chat. Thank you all for that. We have then any additional questions for law enforcement? Okay, perfect. Wow, this has been such a packed agenda and so much really, really good information. Thank you all. We have a few minutes left, and this is usually our burning issues open forum. I did kind of, slot in there Halloween in case there was any additional conversation folks wanted to have about Halloween, but it really is an opportunity for any other hot issue, whether we want to discuss it now or whether it's something that you might want to put on the agenda for a later meeting. So I will open up the floor to anybody who wants to discuss it. And if not, then we will just finish a few minutes early today.
I think one thing I just wanted to say with regards to Halloween in networks, especially since there are so many new community members. I mentioned this at the major events community too, but just stressing the importance of sharing information with each other. There's so many new people in Isla Vista who haven't seen what happens on Halloween, and it could be very overwhelming to see like just how things can change in one weekend and why is there an increased police presence and just the way things are done differently. So I think just really want y'all to like push all the information out you can. Try to get as many people as informed, as well as families in Isla Vista who aren't getting the UCSB announcement emails. So that's my only thing I have.
It's super important, Shannon. Thank you for that. Absolutely. I think we keep being reminded that we have not just one class, but really two classes of students that have not been on campus or have not had the IV experience because of COVID. And so it is a lot of support in navigating through those spaces. Shannon, I'm also wondering if you wanted to mention anything at all in terms of just the update about student housing and where students are living. I know you've got a lot of information and a lot of advocacy that you've been doing around that. And I don't know to what extent that might be something that you want to share.
Yeah, I can share that information. So last time we met with housing, there was around 350 students living in hotels off campus. There was a total of 10 hotels all along the bus line. So however, students who were living in hotels were still complaining about their long commute times. Some were commuting over an hour to class with walking and taking the bus. They are working and moving students out of the hotels. The last number I've got on this issue was, I think, a week or two ago. So there's probably more who have been moved out. But 2 students who were living in hotels were moved into student housing. And then 18 students were found leasing in Isla Vista or elsewhere in the community. So basically, this program is only supposed to last throughout fall quarter, and me and the other execs in AS have been really just pushing hard for these students to have as many resources as they can while they're there, and that they're not forgotten about, and just that they had this option in general. This was like really hard to fight for. They don't really know what they're doing for winter quarter, which is a major concern, but they basically are just depending on what happens, like enough people to drop out or graduate so that housing opens up, so that students don't have to live in a hotel anymore, is what their plan is. They don't have a plan for next quarter, or I'm not saying they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan for extra housing next quarter. So that is the hotel situation. I have more notes on it. This is just like what I can remember right now. If anyone has any questions regarding that, I can put my email in the chat.
That would be great. Yeah. And Shannon, for anybody that does not know your position, would you want to just also put in your title so that folks know that?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah, Shannon, so my name is Madeline. I'm the Ivcn historian, and I'm also one of the students living in a hotel. I'm still like very much struggling with that, trying to find housing. So like if I could just maybe get your email, or maybe like if you could direct me to some resources or maybe updates about how this is going, because me and many other kids are like super stressed about this.
Yeah, I can definitely give you my email with resources and everything, and I can email you a bunch of stuff.
That'd be great.
And if you have any concerns, just email me them, and I will pass those on to housing for you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's great. Thank you. And Madeline, I think the opportunity too, not just to receive the resources, but to also have your concerns shared and the advocacy that you would like to see happen also shared, I think is really important. So I'm glad that that connection is happening.
It is. It's important for me that I, get my concerns and voice heard. So if I could, just get maybe some names of people or like ways to get my voice heard. From what I know, there's also the Isla Vista Food Not Bombs has been advocating for students in my position as well. They have been trying to get their voice heard that they should have housing extended. But my concern with that is that it's going to be more expensive. I have gotten a pretty hefty fee tagged onto my bark because of living in a hotel, and I was under the assumption that we'd be covered by financial aid, but then they put this $3,000 on my account. I'm not sure how many other people are in the same boat as me, but my concern is that if for whatever reason, like we do decide to extend hotel housing, like that there not be thousands more dollars tacked onto it. So yeah, I just have a couple little concerns that way, and I would like to just, get my concerns heard that way.
That is great and really critical, Madeline. And definitely, I think Shannon, in terms of being the external vice president for local affairs, really spearheads a lot of those voices, in the joining community. And so I think that that should be a conduit to be able to get more of the students to have their voices heard as well.
Yeah, definitely. And also feel free, if anyone else who is living in the hotels, feel free to give my email to them as well.
Yeah, definitely.
If they want to tell me their concerns, and yeah, I'll shoot you an email or could you also send your email in the chat too, just so I have that?
Sure. I'm in a group me for the students who are at Pacifica Suites. So I've been, I shared with them some information about this Santa Barbara housing event downtown this past weekend, just before Taste of Pardal. And so I've been trying to organize them a little bit that way, but I know that I could, better help them if I have connections such as with you, Shannon, and Kirsten Desler here, who put her email as well, because this is, urgent issues for us. So I appreciate you guys, saying what resources are available and giving your contact info so that I can also spread that to that group.
Thank you. And I see that Spencer has his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Madeline, your story is so heartbreaking, and there's so many other students like you, and I'm so disappointed in how this situation has unfolded, and just really want to say thank you to Shannon for being such an advocate for students. But I also just wanted to ask, because I know, at least I'm not sure if they're still on, but I think we have a number of people from UCSB on the call. Is there anyone from UCSB that can speak to this issue and these concerns?
Well, hi, this is Kirsten. I mean, I don't know if there is anyone else who wants to speak, but I guess I can. First of all, I really appreciate hearing from Madeline, and I'd like to connect Madeline with our financial aid team, because I want to try and understand that $3,000 fee. That's not something that I've heard about. And I also want to make sure, you know, it's really important to be able to advocate for things that you care about, right? It's also really important that you connect with the people that can help you. And so I would like to do that. I would like to make sure that you are talking to the people in housing that can help address these questions of yours, and of your the people that are also living in the Pacifica Suites. So what I do know is that, very similar to what Madeline said, there are a number of students that are living in hotels. This is a temporary solution. My understanding is that housing is working directly with students to find other resources, other places for them. So we have our Ivy Community Housing Office, which Jen Bircham is in charge of. And so Madeline, if you haven't been contacted by Jen Bircham, if you haven't made that connection, I'd like to make sure that happens. But in addition, there are students moving onto campus housing every week. Last week, I think there was 20 to 30 students that were moving onto campus. So this is a situation that is, you know, it's changing. It's a fluid situation. And the idea, the goal is for students to be in on-campus housing and to have that option. And the expectation is that from one quarter to the next, there is always movement from students are graduating, students leave for various reasons. There's more travel will be happening with education abroad. And so a number of students will not be living in on-campus housing moving into the next quarter. And what housing officials have said, and Madeline said this, is that the expectation is people will be moving from hotels onto on-campus housing. So it's definitely, this is an issue that people in housing and across campus are working very, very hard on and trying to find many different solutions, because this is not ideal. It's not ideal for commuting. It's not ideal for creating community. And that's why I put my address in the chat. I'd really like to connect with Madeline, make sure that I can provide assistance to some of the right people on campus.
Thank you.
Viviana, I see your chat or your message in the chat, and the way that I found out about this event was because of the Isla Vista community calendar that I think Spencer Grant put in the chat. I found that very useful, very helpful. I'm glad that I discovered that. I will definitely be using that more often. So I gathered some very helpful information from that event. And yeah, I'm just glad that I used the community calendar for that.
Yes, I think, if I'm not wrong, that there is a new tenants union organization founded in Santa Barbara that might also be of help.
Thank you very much. If you could maybe post a little more about that in the chat or email me, my email is in the chat as well. I would greatly appreciate that so that I could also distribute that to others in my situation.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody. Obviously, this is a really, really crucial conversation. And I know that we're a little bit past time, but if there's any additional conversation about this, happy to keep the lines open. But also thinking that this will be something important to add to the agenda for our next Ivcn meeting, and to kind of keep making sure that it's on our radar and being addressed, even if it's just so that people who are new to the community know that this conversation is happening and that there are resources and advocacy out there that are happening as well. Are there any other comments then at this point on this topic, or anything else before we close out?
Madeline, so I think the student advocate general, who kind of serves in a similar position to me in Associated Students, is supposed to be meeting with the housing department today. But I just wanted to know, if I were to share this information with them, would it be okay if I gave them your email?
Totally, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to, okay. I don't know if they've met yet today, but I know they were meeting today. So I just wanted to ask you that before we head out.
Okay. Thank you all so much for all of your work, all your efforts, for coming together and for sharing so many resources with each other and with our community. I think on that note, we are going to then wrap up for this month's meeting and look forward to seeing you all next month. If you are not signed up to receive the notifications about this meeting, please do send me a message and happy to add you to that list. But otherwise, thank you all so much and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.